welcome to Campus Life Writers Insight. I'm your host, Brian Nixon. And for program today, we are going to be engaging in an exciting discussion. It's all about how we can help our peers and our fellow students. Nazarene, a fellow student of ours, has reached out to us. She's all set in writing her expository essay. However, topic to sentence outline has raised a few concerns. To assist her along the way, we have a team of well researched and experienced panelists who are known writers. They are Miss Tashna Jones, Jessica McPhee, Theosha Miller, Nikisha Harry Samuel, and Brian Dixon. Our panelists are all geared to assist Lazarine to create effective expository pieces. We will examine the following in our discussion: a justification of choice of expository method, strengths and weaknesses of Lazarine topic to sentence outline, recommendation for revising the outline so it aligns with the expository method which governs Lazarine's assignment, suggestions regarding content Lazarine can include for establishing the significance and the context of the topic, should she write an introductory paragraph. And, and another point, an explanation of how these can apply to develop the body paragraph or topic sentence two of Lazarine topic to sentence outline. And further, we'll look at the combination of all of these. So let us start off with looking at the justification of choice of expository method. Ms. Tashna Jones is all geared to tell us.
Good evening to everyone present here today. Host, thank you for having me. It is with great pleasure to share with Lazarine my thoughts on our project, specifically the expository method. So, for this assignment, process analysis is the most suitable expository method, and here's why. Lazarine is asked to explain steps in a process. Process analysis focuses on how something happens step by step, which aligns perfectly with the idea of Caribbean unification. Cause and effect would be better if the topic were about why the Caribbean is not unified or the consequences of disunity. But since Lazarine is explaining how to unify the region, process analysis is the correct expository method. Jessica, as an academic writer, what do you see in Lazarine's outline?
Thank you, Tashna. I will now assess Lazarine's thesis statement and topic sentences, considering what we have learned on Caribbean integration. Starting with the thesis statement, Lazarine wrote How to Unify the Caribbean. This is ambiguous, lacks scholarly tone, and does not demonstrate the systematic reasoning required for a university level outline. It also fails to reflect the cause and effect or process analysis method required. A solid thesis statement that clearly describes the root causes of a complex program. It should be stated, for instance, the success for Caribbean unification relies heavily on three main interdependent factors: mitigating economic disparities, reconciling conflicting political agendas, and strengthen institutional frameworks to manage integration complexity. This format establishes a defined path for body paragraphs and represents a specific expository method, in this case, cause and effect. Now, looking at Lazarine's topic sentences, it is discovered there are many ways to unify the Caribbean. This lacks direction, does not provide a step or cause. We propose changing the sentence to economic inequalities between Caribbean states, creating conflicting priorities and inequitable integration. Secondly, strengthening regional tourism is the second step. This is closer to the expected structure, but it remains immature. A simpler version would read as follows: conflicting national political interests undermines consensus building. Thirdly, the Caribbean has the potential for becoming unified if leaders of government make joint investments. This does not state a step and instead makes a hopeful claim. An amendment should read as follows: inadequate institutional frameworks lack mandate, resources, and reinforcement capacity. The main message is that the topic sentences must represent the technique, whether it's detailing steps in a process or determining root causes. The suggested topic sentences, for example, each states a cause with academic clarity and direct connections to the thesis. To assist Lazarine, we recommend reworking the thesis to clearly explain a three-step unification process, as well as strengthening the topic sentence to match that order. Now, Tiosha, tell your thoughts on the introductory paragraph. Any suggestions?
The third paragraph is more than a standard opening. It acts as the primary guide for a paper. For the topic, explaining three main steps of the process of unifying the Caribbean region. An effective introduction must achieve two main objectives. First, to establish the significance of the topic, and second, to provide necessary context for the reader. Lazarine needs to make her reader care about Caribbean unification right from the start. Why is this topic important? She could begin by highlighting the shared historical, cultural, and economic ties that binds the Caribbean, but also acknowledge the inherent challenges of deep integration among diverse island nations. She could pose a rhetorical question and present a compelling statistics about the region's global standing if unified versus fragmented. Lazarin could start by emphasizing the potential power and resilience that a truly unified Caribbean could possess on the global stage, economically, politically, and culturally. For example, despite their diverse cultures and geographies, Caribbean nations share a common destiny, and their collective strength, if fully realized through reunification, could offer unprecedented opportunities for regional development and global influence. She might also address the common vulnerabilities the region faces, such as climate change, natural disaster, or global economic shifts, and explain how unification efforts are vital for addressing these shared challenges. In an era of increasing global challenges, from climate change to economic explosiveness, the imperative of Caribbean unity becomes ever more pressing, offering a pathway to collective resilience and sustainable development. Another approach is to highlight the historical attempts at unification, demonstrating that this isn't a new idea, but an ongoing critical process. For centuries, the dream of the unified Caribbean has resonated through the islands, testament to the region's shared aspiration for self determination and collective prosperity. Next, Lazarine needs to provide context. The reader might not be familiar with the specifics of Caribbean unification efforts, so she should briefly zoom in from the broad significance to the specific focus of her essay. She should briefly define what she means by unifying the Caribbean region. Is she referring to economic integration, political federation, or something else? Perhaps briefly mentioning key regional bodies like CARICOM, the Caribbean Community, or the OECS, Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, will provide immediate context. While various initiatives have sought to foster regional cooperation, formal unification efforts, often spearheaded by entities such as CARICOM, represent a continuous journey.
towards deep integration. She could briefly mention the scope of her paper, that it will focus on explaining the process of unification, specifically outlining three key steps. This sets clear expectation for the reader. This essay will outline three fundamental steps that are essential to the intricate process of achieving cohesive and truly unified Caribbean region. And finally, after setting this stage of significance and context, Lazarin's introductory paragraph must build seamlessly into her revised thesis statement. Her thesis, which we'll discuss more, needs to clearly state the three main steps of the process she will be explaining. The introduction should lead the reader directly to that roadmap. A sample introductory paragraph for Lazarine. The Caribbean tapestry of small islands developing states has long struggled with the legacy of past fragmentation that originated from its unique administrative structures and diverse colonial histories. Given the urgent modern concern of economic weakness, escalating environmental dangers from climate change, and the competitive pressures of globalization, the need for regional integration is more crucial than ever. Although current initiatives such as the Caribbean Community CARICOM have established solid preliminaries, a more unified and integrated strategy is necessary for the future of the region. The unification of the Caribbean area, essentially for its impending success and resilience, can be accomplished through three primary measures: advancing cultural integration, enhancing regional tourism, and encouraging collaborative investments. Nikisha, what are your thoughts on the tease for the body paragraph?
Night, everyone. I'm going to explain how the thesis technique can be applied to develop the body paragraph for topic sentence 2 of Lazarine's topic to sentence outline. A powerful and coherent body paragraph can be effectively organized using the tease technique. The tease technique stands for the topic sentence, the explanation, an example, the effect of the example, and the summary sentence. Let's walk through how Lazarine can align it to her topic. Strengthening regional tourism is the second step of the process of unifying the Caribbean. By stating the paragraph's primary theme, this sentence already establishes the scene. We will then move on to the explanation, where the definition of strengthening regional tourism will be clarified. Lazarine can first explain how more collaboration in the tourism industry among Caribbean countries might promote a common objective. Next, she can discuss the need of encouraging cross island travel, cross cultural interactions, and the corporate marketing campaigns. Next, she can give a specific example from the region. Lazarine can highlight programs that support group tourism activities such as the Caribbean Travel Marketplace or the Caribbean Tourism Organizations, CTO. She can also highlight culturally and economically connected islands through shared festivals or cruise routes. The effect in teas is where you demonstrate the example's impact, highlighting the ways in which in which regional tourism promotes cultural pride, economic interdependence, and togetherness. Lazarine can also relate it to the broad objective of social, economic, and political union in the Caribbean. Finally, Lazarine can conclude by restating the primary idea, giving an overview of how tourism improves relations and advances the process of unification.
Based on the feedback provided by Tashna Jessica, Theosha and Nikisha, once implemented, Nazarene can be on the right path of greatly improving her essay on unifying the Caribbean. Firstly, Tashna placed emphasis on the process analysis method as most effective expository approach. Jessica spoke about the need to revise the thesis statement to one that is academically sound and aligned to the process analysis structure. Theosha focused on the importance of having an engaging and informative introductory paragraph. And finally, Nikisha spoke about adopting a thesis, which is topic, explanation, example, effect, summary. This framework will enhance the clarity while still allowing the essay to be academically sound for each body paragraph. Thus, each paragraph is well supported and developed. By following through and applying these constructive suggestions of choosing a suitable expository method, strengthening our thesis and topic sentences, creating an engaging introduction, and adopting a thesis, Lazarine can recreate our initial draft into something that is academically sound, well researched, and convincing. We thank you, team of panelists, and we thank you all, and we hope to hear from Lazarine as it relates to the end result of our product. So we thank you all for listening, and we hope to hear from you again and for you to watch us again on your campus live Writers Insight.